Hello, my dear friends. Yesterday was my last Shabbos as the Rabbi of Congregation of Torah after 40 years. And I delivered a farewell Derosha. A lot of people were away because it's last Shabbos of the last week of the summer. And there were people in town who were in other shuls because there were 3 simchas taking place. The shul happened to be packed, and I'm very appreciative to all the people that came to be mechabed me, to honor me, and Fegi. But I'm recording this as those people who were not able to hear the drasha yesterday. This is a recording for you to listen to. First, I wanted to thank everybody. The first thanks goes to my wife Fegi, who, without her and without her support, I never would have been able to serve as the rabbi for so many years. And she's my Eshes Chayil, and everything that I accomplished is in her schus. I want to thank Robert Kreitman, who has been a terrific friend, and Robert agreed to be president. He served already 2 terms before, and it's a very arduous thing to be, a lot of pressure to be president, but I asked him to be president because I felt that he would be the perfect person to help with the transition from my position to the next rabbi of the shul, and he's really been fantastic. And Baruch Hashem, the shul is moving forward with Rabbi Malitsky, who's an outstanding person, and I'm sure that he will continue, the growth of the shul will continue under his leadership and guidance, and he will accomplish tremendous things. He's a very distinguished Talmid Chacham and a religious personality, and I wish him much hatzlacha. I thank the board for all your support over the years. I thank every single person in the shul. I have, Baruch Hashem, I feel like I have a very close relationship with just about everybody in the shul, and we have fantastic people in the shul, and you have given me such a tremendous honor and schus to be the rabbi of the congregation. I can't imagine a better job in the world, to be the rabbi of a shul, to be involved in chesed 24/7. What a tremendous thing that is, and you have allowed me to serve in this function for 41 years, and I'm enormously appreciative. I will mention at this time, I said it yesterday, inadvertently, sometimes I may have said something that I offended somebody or hurt somebody. Maybe I said something in a drasha. Maybe you came to say good Shabbos and I didn't notice you. I apologize. I'm sorry. I ask Mechila. If you're still upset, please come and talk to me. Let's talk it through. Then I can tell you in person that I could ask for your forgiveness. I hope that you will forgive me for anything that unintentionally that may have done that was painful or hurtful. This Shabbos was Parshas Kiseitze, so it's a very propitious time to be leaving the shul for my retirement. Kiseitze means when you leave. I'm delivering a farewell address to the shul at the time when I'm leaving. It's common when people leave positions, they deliver a farewell address. George Washington delivered a famous farewell address. Eisenhower, President Eisenhower. I thought maybe I could steal some of their material, but it didn't. It's too political. It didn't fit in for my drasha. But I have a parting message that I want to share with the congregation. It is Parshas Kiseitze, and I quipped yesterday that next week is Parshas Kisovo. So that means if I don't like retirement, my first day of retirement, official day, will be this coming Friday, Erev Shabbos. If I decide on Friday that it's no good, it's not what I thought it was going to be, then it's Parshas Kisovo. That means I can come back to the shul and take over again. Okay, I'm Rabbi Malitsky. I'm only joking. Don't worry about it. In any event, the phrase Kiseitze, which is the opening phrase of the parsha, Kiseitze, leaving, often is intertwined with fear and trepidation, because you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're heading, you don't know what the future has in store, and oftentimes if you're leaving, it's because not for good reasons. Things didn't work out in the past. That's why you're leaving. So in this week's parsha, you're leaving to go fight a war. That there's so much trepidation that's connected to that. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the battle. People will lose their lives. So it's a sad and frightening time of Kiseitze Milchama. Later in the parsha, there's a seitze which is a tragedy, when a family, when the marriage doesn't work out, and there's a divorce. The husband gives the wife a get, and then she has to leave and find the house and find and create a new house for herself. She leaves and she goes and she attempts to find a new husband. That's the tragedy of that of that event is enormous. So the Hitzese is very sad. When Yaakov left his father's house, Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva, he left his father's house. He was a fugitive. He had to run away because his brother Esau wanted to murder him. So he escaped, and he was going to a place which was fraught with danger. He was going to the house he was going into Golus, and the Chumash says Charan. Charan, Rashi says, from the word in Parshas Noach. Charan is anger. It was a place of fighting and machlokas and bitterness, that's what Laban's house was. So there was tremendous fear and trepidation that Yaakov experienced when he was leaving. So in all these instances, the Seitze, it has a negative connotation. And finally, in the keenness on Tisha B'Av, we say B'tzeisi mi Yerushalayim. We remember what it was like when we left Mitzrayim, when after the Churban, the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, and people went into Galus. Thousands or millions of people had to go into a foreign land, suffering. But there's one place in Tanakh that at least that I know of where leaving is something that is a celebration. It's not leaving. When you leave with simcha and you arrive in peace. That's a pasuk in the Haftarah of the Haftarah that we learn on Tainis Tzibur for Mincha. Derosha Hashem b'matzo. It's Nishai and Nun Hey, so it's the parak after the Haftarah that we had yesterday, running Akara. So there Yeshaya says, he's describing, the way the Mefarshim explained, he's describing what will happen when the Jewish people return from Galus to Eretz Yisrael, when the Mashiach will come. It'll be Kiva Simcha Seitzeo, you'll leave Galus with Simcha, and you'll arrive in Eretz Yisrael, V'shalom Tuvalon, you'll arrive with peace. And then the Navi gives a metaphor. The mountains and the hills will sing in joy with you. And the trees will clap. The leaves of the trees, when the rustling of the branches in the wind, in the people's minds, it'll be as if. That's what the Mefarshim say. When you're happy, you feel like everybody, the whole creation's happy, and the whole creation's celebrating. So here, Klal Yisrael is returning from Galus, so the mountains are dancing and singing, and the leaves are clapping, and everybody is in a state of simcha. So that's a terrific that type of simcha. That's what I feel. I hope in Mirz Hashem my leaving. At this point in time, is not a seitze of sadness, but it's a seitze of kivus simcha seitzeo. Those words are very meaningful to me, because when I studied in Yeshiva in Philadelphia some 60 years ago, when we left for Bein Hazmanim, when we left for vacation, we left, for example, after Yomim Narayim, we left the yeshiva. The yeshiva chartered a bus. Most of the Talmidim lived in New York, so we went on the bus, and as the bus was leaving the parking lot, we sang the words of the Navi Yeshaya, and there was a beautiful tune for those words that came out. I think it was in 1962. The Pirchei produced a record with a beautiful niggun, Kiva Simcha Seitzeu. I tried to sing it in shul yesterday. I asked a bunch of people if they know the niggun. Almost nobody, or just about nobody knew that niggun. And I thought maybe I'll sing it, but then I thought nobody would appreciate the niggun if I'm singing it. So. But I found it today. I found it on YouTube. I'm going to play it for you at the end of my remarks. But that is Kiva Simchas. That's the way I hope that I'm able to experience my leaving the shul. It should be B'Simchas Eitzeyu U'V'Shalom Tuvalon. So I want to explain the pasuk a little bit to you. Kiva Simchas Eitzeyu. There's two ways when you leave B'Sim. They'll leave with joy. The literal meaning is in joy they will leave. So there's two ways to understand the pasuk. One way is that they're leaving because they're happy to get out. They're goodbye and good riddance. They've been in Galus for 2,000. Kaisel have been in Galus for 2,000 years, and now what a big simcha! We'll finally rid of this galus. So the simcha is because we're leaving. But I would say that that's not the pshat, because the pasuk says, "B'simcha seitzeyu." In joy you will leave. That means that the simcha precedes the leaving. Why is it simcha before they left? Because they accomplished in Gullus, in spite of all the difficulties and all the handicaps, the suffering and the persecutions and the Holocaust, everything. Nonetheless, look at the tremendous things that Klal Yisrael accomplished in Galus. They built yeshivas, and they built shuls, and they built communities, and it was full of tzedakah and chesed and Torah study. So, as they are leaving, they're not happy. I mean, they're happy because they're leaving also, but it's not, the joy that the pasuk is describing is not the simcha because they're leaving. It's the simcha while they're leaving. It's the simcha that they've experienced thinking about the past, what they've accomplished. It's they're leaving with simcha, not that they're besimcha because they're leaving. It's they're leaving with simcha, and that's what the pasuk is emphasizing. Keep a simcha seitzeyu, and that's in my situation as well. I'm not leaving besimcha. I'm not happy because I'm leaving. Chas v'shalom. I'm leaving while I'm happy. I'm happy because everything has been accomplished in the shul, and because of all the terrific things. And I could write a history of the community. I could write so many stories of people and things that people have done and conversations. Most of it is confidential, so I can't write about it. That's the problem. But so many beautiful things have happened during my term in the last 41 years, and people have done great things and accomplished terrific things, and they've grown and developed, and my personal interactions with people. So I'm leaving besimcha tzeitzeyu. I'm besimcha. I'm happy. You see, I'm smiling. I'm besimcha, and it's that way that I'm leaving tzeitzeyu. But the end of the pasuk is, to me, is very meaningful, and that's the message that I want to leave for the congregation. And that is, V'shalom tuvon, you'll arrive in Shalom. Who said? How does the Navi know you're going to arrive in Shalom? What does that mean? Where does it come from? So I think the Navi is saying, if you want to sustain all the terrific things that you accomplished in Galus while you were living in these dire, terrible, hard, difficult circumstances. Now, sometimes when everything gets easy, so people stop producing. So the Navi says, "Uv'shalom tovon." You want to know how you're going to guarantee and ensure that the what you've accomplished will be continued, and you'll go from one level to the next. Michael Choyel, as it says in the Navi, from one level to the next level. The trajectory will be up and not flat or down. It's uv'shalom tovon. If you have shalom, if you work together, if everybody appreciates each other, if there's mutual respect, because Chazal say, "Lo matzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu kli machzik bracha k'mo shalom." There's no greater vessel for bracha than shalom. The biggest blessings come about when you have shalom, when you have harmony, when you have peace. When there's machlokas, you have churban and destruction. Nothing gets accomplished. When you have shalom, you accomplish great things. And so the Navi is saying that to Klal Yisrael, you'll leave b'simcha, but you want to know how you're going to be able to sustain that? Uv'shalom tovon. If you come to Eretz Yisrael b'shalom, if everybody will work together harmoniously, then when you come to Eretz Yisrael, you'll go to even higher level and madrega together. And that's what we've experienced in our community. It's b'shalom tovon. We've arrived constantly. We've climbed the mountain together. We've accomplished that because of Shalom Tuvam, because there's much harmony in the community. This is an incredible community. People don't appreciate it, but I hear from people all the time that Highland Park is enviable. The amount of shalom it permits. The people, the Rabbanim are close friends, and the shuls work together, and there are people that have memberships in multiple shuls, and they daven one time they daven here, one time there, and we're all working together, and there's no competition. We're not out to outdo the other one, because we're all working towards the same goal. And the people, such tremendous respect that we have. There's a broad spectrum of people in Edison and Highland Park, but everybody's mechabed everybody else. There's respect for one another, and that's why we've been able to accomplish so much. And within the shul itself, that's one of the reasons why we have a beautiful shul. You look at the building. We have a terrific, magnificent edifice, and the acoustics are great, and people come from all across the country to see the acoustics, so you don't need a microphone in Congregation or Torah. But what makes the shul beautiful is not the acoustics, is not the, I mean, that enhances it, but it's the people that make the shul beautiful. And when do the people make it beautiful? When they treat each other with kavod and respect and with derech eretz, and shalom permeates the shul. And that's what we have in the shul that's special. And my farewell message to Congregation Or Torah, my last message, official message that I'm saying as the rabbi to the congregation is, make sure you maintain the shalom in the shul and in the community, because then it'll be b'simcha seitzeyu u'v'shalom tuvalon. You will reach the next level. Will be reached. We'll have simcha, but the simcha will be sustained because u'v'shalom tuvalon. We'll reach there because of the shalom. And if we have shalom, so then the mountains will be singing in the valleys. And the trees and the foliage and the leaves are going to be clapping and everybody's going to be excited. Look what the outstanding, spectacular community is. Congregation, the Edison Highland Park and Congregation Or Torah. Look how special it is because it's b'simcha seitzeyu u'v'shalom tuvalon. And that's my parting message to the shul. Make sure you maintain the shalom. There's nothing more important in terms of the vitality and the growth of the shul than shalom. If we have shalom, then it's a kli machzik bracha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be Mirza Hashem bestow tremendous bracha on Congregation Or Torah for many years to come. And now it's my pleasure to play for you the nigun of Ki V'Simcha Seitzeyo from the Pirchei record. It's redone by Shmuley Blasovsky, and it's a beautiful nigun. And here's the nigun which I'm going to play for you. All right, Simcha Seitzeyu u'V'Shalom Tavon Harim Agros Yifsechu V'Eichem Rina V'Chalatzei Hasada Yimchal Chaf. Wish tremendous success to Congregation Or Torah in the years to come under the leadership of Rabbi Malitsky. All the membership to work together with Shalom and will accomplish great things. We had tears in our eyes when we were in the bus leaving the parking lot of Philadelphia Yeshiva, singing this beautiful nigun of Ki V'Simcha Seitzeyu u'V'Shalom Tavon. Mirza Hashem, all the brachas should be mekuyim and fulfilled.